Anglers worldwide, I'm Jabroni Joe, so you already know I am back with another show, and in today's video we are going to talk about my very first kayak fishing tournament that took place this last weekend. The truth is, it was quite a tough outing for Jabroni Joe in his first tournament experience. However, there was a lot of things that I learned and a lot of personal growth that took place on the water that I would love to show you guys today. So I took a few key clips from my time out on the tournament this weekend to show you guys today, and I'm going to tell you guys the story of everything I went through on that day and what my overall thoughts of tournament fishing are now that I've done it and where we are going to go from here. Before we talk about everything that took place this weekend, I want to hit you guys with a quick bit of news. For those who have not kept up with the past few videos, Mrs. Jabroni and I announced that we are expecting a baby, and we just got the news recently that it's a boy. So we are going to have another son. Jabroni Jr. is super excited to have a baby brother, and we are very excited to have another little Jabroni joining the family. Continue to wish us luck and send us good vibes as we expect another rambunctious little boy in our lives. Alright, now let's get back to today's topic. It was Saturday, March 4th, 2023, and 32 kayak anglers had gathered on Twin Lakes in Shawnee, Oklahoma for the first stop, the season opener of the Oklahoma City Kayak Fishing Club Tournament Trail. For days before the tournament, I was filled with this giddy excitement as I organized tackle and prepared everything as meticulously as I could. And then the morning of the tournament, added to that giddy excitement was this nervous energy that I couldn't shake in every single nerve of my body. All right, holy smokes, guys. We are at the lake. I am registered, and there are kayaks already on the water. I'm about to get my kayak on the water. Here's my setup. About to get it on the wheels, and then we're gonna get out there. Guys, I'm filled with just this nervous but excited, jittery energy. It's insane. I can't wait to get out there and, just do my best today. We're gonna have an absolute blast. So let's get the kayak on the water. I will catch you guys when I am paddling out to my spot. I knew that there were disadvantages that I was gonna face out there on the water, but it didn't matter. I was gonna go out there and do my very best, no matter what, and hope that it would mean something by the end of the day. All right, guys, we are on the water. I chatted with a bunch of the other anglers, and they all seem like pretty chill guys, all being pretty helpful. So lines are out. We can put our lines in the water at 10 a.m. and then we have to have lines out of the water by 5 p.m. So we have 7 hours of fishing time today. It's going to be a long grind. But we're going to do our best and see if we can come out of it with some fish. All right, guys, there it is, 10 a.m. Let's get started. I'm going to start out with this red blade bait over here by the dam where there's lots of rock. My first cast in my first ever kayak fishing tournament. Historical. I already fully expected for it to be a tough day on the water. The water temperatures are still in the mid to upper 40s, even though we would like them to be a little bit higher at this time of the year. So we have not quite hit the pre-spawn stage in Oklahoma quite yet. So I already expected for it to be a tough day on the water, but I found out quickly that it was going to be even tougher than I had anticipated. I said earlier that I already knew going in that I had a couple of disadvantages working against me, and what those disadvantages are, guys, is that I, paddle my kayak and I have no electronics on my kayak. the majority of the other anglers who were in the tournament trail have at least a pedal drive, if not some type of trolling motor or electric motor moving their kayak. And the vast majority of them also have some type of fish finder. Maybe not live scope, but they at least have some type of depth finder that will give them a water temperature reading and let them know how deep the water they're sitting on top of is. And those are, you know, some key factors, some good information to have when you're trying to catch fish, especially in a tough time of the year like it is right now. And I knew all of those things going into the tournament, and I'm definitely not saying that those are like the sole reasons or anything why I did not do well, because at the end of the day, the fish only see your lure. It doesn't matter if you've got electronics or pedal drive or anything. But they were things that worked against me when I was trying to position myself to find fish, and, you know, trying to find that water temperature. I don't have any way to read water temperature, so I have to guess where I think the water is warmest. And so I definitely think they're factors in why I didn't do as well as maybe I could have, but they're small factors at the end of the day. The unexpected factor that ended up working the most against me throughout the day was the wind. The forecast for the day said that we were going to have very, very low winds, and so I didn't think I would have to worry about it very much. But the winds were a little bit higher, probably about 5 to 10 miles faster than the forecast had anticipated. So I was getting whipped around in my kayak a lot, couldn't get myself positioned or staged still long enough. A lot of times I wanted to toss my jig out and let it just soak in one spot for a long time, but my kayak was literally getting dragged along, so I couldn't keep my jig in one spot long enough. And that really worked against me. I do have an anchor trolley kit for my kayak, but I need to get a new anchor for it, and hopefully I'll have that set up by the next tournament, because I think that would have been a very helpful piece of equipment this time around. So with winds whipping me around and cold water temperatures making it hard to find fish, I spent the entire first half of the day basically just trying to find areas where the wind breaks would allow me to slow down and fish. I fished a lot of docks, and it was very unsuccessful. I just grinded it out as much as I could, but there really wasn't much to show from the first half of the day. I didn't talk much on video. I was really focused on just trying to figure out what my game plan needed to be. Okay, I'm going to hit you guys with the midday report. I haven't caught... it has been a rough day. Water temperatures are still super cold. It's been a little windier than I anticipated it to be. So positioning and maneuvering my kayak has not been the easiest. Trying to find spots to fish where the wind is not bad. So midway through the day, we've got nothing on the board. I'm hoping that the fishing is just as tough for everyone else, and they're having a hard time getting fish too, and that I'll be able to find fish before time is up. It is a little bit before 2 o'clock, so I've got just over 3 hours left of fishing time. So you guys can probably hear it there in my voice. I'm trying to keep it lighthearted and trying to sound, you know, not as frustrated as I am. But by the time the midday rolled around, I was pretty worn out and irritated with the wind, and I felt like I spent the majority of my time trying to move my kayak rather than actually fishing. And that was really starting to bug me. So I, right after I did that midday report, I parked the kayak for a minute, pulled out a little bit of food. I brought some snacks with me, and I was eating, and I gave my wife a call, Mrs. Jabroni, and, just 5 minutes on the phone talking about everything but fishing, just catching up, asking her how her day was, asking her how Jabroni Jr. was doing. They were playing with water balloons at the house. Just that 5 minutes away from thinking about the fishing and focusing on the food, it really breathed kind of a second life into me, and gave me a little bit of a clearer thinking going into the second half of the day. So I took my kayak and I headed back towards the dam. The dam was up on the north side of the lake, and the wind was coming out of the north at that point, so the dam was the perfect windbreak, and the dam was also one of the deepest points of the lake, so I was determined to get over there and fish that deep water, fish by that rock, and just stick out the rest of the day over there. I had a new lease on life, and I felt like things could possibly go a little bit better from that point. Then, as we get, a couple more hours down the road, still haven't caught anything. The wind is shifting a little bit more, and now it's blowing me around even at the dam, but not as bad as it was earlier. And I start seeing other guys take their kayaks over to the ramp and, just take off. They're calling it a day. They'll just take the blank for the day. And I have to tell you guys, I really, really considered it. I mean, I'll show you guys right now. I thought about it. Oh, guys, I'm not gonna lie. A big part of me wants to just get off the water right now. Go relax until it's time to weigh in or whatever. Got 1 hour left to fish, but if I'm gonna be in shape and ready to do this tournament season, I'm gonna have to get my endurance up, and that means I'm gonna have to get used to being on the water for the entire time we fish. Plus, even though it's not likely, sometimes the fish turn on, sometimes you're able to put something together with that last little bit of time. As you guys can see, I decided to stay and stick it out, and I'm really glad that I did, because it really taught me a lesson at the end of the day, that, you want that endurance, and if you're only going to get that endurance by doing it over and over again. But the bigger lesson that it taught me was what had happened in the actual last hour of fishing, right after we passed that last hour mark, just 5 minutes after I said I'm going to stick it out. Let's take a look, guys. Fish on! We are not blinking today! Oh, I hope so. Finally. Alright, come on, baby. Be 10 inches. It's 12er. Alright, shut your mouth. And get my phone out. I have to tell you guys right now, that was the best feeling 12-inch bass that I have ever caught in my life. It gave me a whole new lease on life. Like the energy that had been breathed into me by talking to my wife earlier in the day, it was just like that. And I was just ready to go, ready to knock out the last hour of fishing. And I mean, you guys can see it right here. I'll tell you what, guys, all it took was that one fish, and life is back inside Jabroni Joe. Do I think I'm gonna catch a few more fish and place in today's tournament? No, I really don't. But I did not blank, and I caught a solid keeper 2 inches over the minimum mark. So no matter what happens today, I am very proud of my performance, because when I felt like quitting and getting off the water, I told myself, no, you need to get the endurance of being on the water all day for tournaments. And I stayed, and it paid off with the only fish I've caught today. We've got 45 minutes of fishing time left, and I'm gonna marinate this jig on this rock for the entire 45 minutes of it, and hopefully get a few more. And that, guys, pretty much wrapped up the day. I didn't catch any more fish in that last 45 minutes, and we all came and ramped up and turned in our fish pictures, and the Oklahoma City Kayak Fishing Club went ahead and did a few drawings for some giveaways of some product from our sponsors. I personally received some King's Stank Sauce in Minnow Scent from Stank Stick. Stank Stick is a company that makes scented sticks and sauces for your soft plastic baits. I can't wait to give this a try. And then after we did the giveaways, they announced the winners of the tournament. I believe a gentleman by the name of John took first place with an incredible 5-fish stringer for 80 1/4 inches. And his method was chasing the water temperature all day. He just, everywhere, he just kept moving around, finding the warmest water temperature he could, and it seemed to work out for him. So congratulations to him. And I found out that getting one keeper fish in a tournament pretty much doubles the points you would get towards Angler of the Year rather than coming out blank in a tournament. So catching that one keeper is going to work out for me in the long run in the Angler of the Year standings down the road. And that pretty much wrapped up the entire day. Now that the fishing was all done and the prizes were all given out, everyone was packing up and heading out to leave. And my thoughts on the entire thing were that I had an absolute blast, that I learned a lot, and that there's a great story to take away from this, and that's that, you know, you just never stop, you never give up. I know that sounds so cliche to say. I sound like Mike Iaconelli right now.
Never give up! Never give up! Ah!
But that's the truth of the matter. I caught the one and only fish that I caught because I chose to stick it out and stay on the water. And I caught that fish in the last hour of competition. And I think that that taught me a big lesson, that if you know, work hard, grind it out, and stick it out when it gets the toughest, that you'll be rewarded. Maybe not every time, but when it matters. I want to say thank you again to the guys, Jonathan and Tom, who run the Oklahoma City Kayak Fishing Club. I had a great time, and I'm really happy to have joined the trail. I can't wait to compete in the rest of the tournaments throughout the season and hopefully make it into the championship in late September. And you guys are going to be seeing a lot more tournament fishing content in the next few months as I continue on this tournament trail. I do believe that is everything we need to cover in today's video, so be sure to smash that like button and body slam a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of today's story and what you thought of the one fish catch that I did manage to get today. And if you are not, be sure to super kick, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you can be notified every time Jabroni Joe uploads a new video. I will catch you guys in the next one, and remember, if it ain't Joe, it's gotta go. Angler out.